Okay, welcome everyone to another unpromoted, unscripted update. My name is Chris Ellis. I'm working on the Fullnode project. Little Raspberry Pis that go into cases like these. Got a whole bunch of new goodies today. Some, unfortunately, were DOA, dead on arrival. That's just the nature of the beast. So yeah, got lots going on here. Got NSA cam right on the desk with me because I've run out of USB ports, so I'm having to use, but as you can see here, lots of memory cards, lots of cases. I'm still behind on making some of the nodes from before Christmas because some of you are owed cases, some of you are owed nodes from before Christmas and very kindly said that you didn't mind waiting. So rest assured, I am making those now at the moment. At the same time, we are investigating a potential bug, which let me just pull it up on the screen here for you. If you go to fullnode.protip.is, it will forward you directly to the Git repo, the GitHub repository, to give it its full name. And you can see here in the issues section, we've had a couple of issues raised, one which was resolved, and this one, which is that sometimes the full node crashes after a certain length of time, say 2 to 3 days. Well, so far I haven't been able to repeat this. My full node has been running in the other room now for 6 days. The memory hasn't been taking up as much as it has been on other people's computers. However, thanks to MZ here, who I've also been speaking with privately, we may have a solution. It's a fairly straightforward one. We can basically write a bash script and put it in the binary folder, which detects when Bitcoin D stops running, and if it detects it's not running, then it simply reboots Bitcoin D, so that we don't suffer any downtime. And the reason it looks like it's crashing is because the mempool, Bitcoin's mempool, overloads, too much activity on the network, and the Raspberry Pi, which is only a small, consumer grade device, obviously runs out of memory, and so it crashes. Not the whole Raspberry Pi, just Bitcoin crashes. So before I send out the next batch of nodes, obviously I want to make sure that issue is fixed because I want everyone to have a good experience. So a couple of other updates in an effort to conserve energy in the flat, which is quite cold because I'm on the top floor of a council estate. I am going to have to I'm going to have to sort of modify my Steve Jobs uniform a little bit and put on something a little bit warmer for the rest of this presentation. I'm not going to overdo it like with scarves and things. Also, another update is, unfortunately, whoopsie, the Mini laptop, which I'd been using before, has broken. And as a result, when you start it up, it says that the hard drive has failed, if it will even start up at all. Yes, it will. And as a result, I'm down a machine, which means I've run out of USB ports, hence I'm using the internal camera on this computer, and then I've got my NSA cam right by me here. So yeah, unfortunately, the Mini laptop, which by the way is a terrible laptop, don't buy one. I regret buying this. It was crowdfunded for me thanks to Seafarer. If you're watching this, thank you very much. It's not that it's a bad laptop, like it did its job. It had all like the private keys for the fundraising, the Bitcoin wallets that we were using a couple of years ago, and I've been using it as just as an armory, full node offline. And but now, yes, the hard drive has failed, so I'm down a machine, which obviously handicaps me somewhat. However, I have a solution to this. I have purchased a new case, which is a different type of case to the other full node case. It's one like this. It's a lot smaller form factor. I have got myself a 128 gigabyte memory stick, which I have flashed and put the full node software on there. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to assemble the device, this one here, which I've just prepared. It has Deluge on it for bit torrenting. Oops, you didn't see that because I didn't have the right camera enabled. So there it is. So it's right there. Oh yeah, you can see the Mini is reporting reboot select boot drive. So yeah, the Mini unfortunately is now kaput. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a Pi into like a super node. So it's going to have a lot more memory on it. And I'm going to build it in a different case, just so I know what, which pi is which. And meanwhile, in the other room that you may have seen me work in before, the other Fullnode is running, the one that's been running for 6 days. So yeah, I'm just going to pull all the peripherals out of this. I've never done this before. No, this has only just arrived this afternoon, this case. I've also got a little screen coming, because I'm doing some research as well. So I wouldn't mind if people want to fund the research of the Fullnode project. I'd really appreciate that, because I'd really like to get one of those little Pi tops, the 3D printed laptop cases, and you basically put a Pi inside of it and it becomes a full laptop kind of thing. I'd really like to get some of those, because I'd love to send some of those to Botswana. Okay, I don't actually know how this works, so I'm going to have to guess. Okay, I'm guessing it's like that, because all the little holes line up. And then I'm guessing, no, is that on it? Unless that goes under there. Yes, that goes under there. Okay. I don't know if that's close enough for you. I'm also running BitTorrent as well at the moment, just because MZ wants to get a copy of my disk image that I'm using. So he's currently downloading that. That's not working. Don't know why. That's the next one. Then that, oh no. Then that one. Yep. Then that one. Okay, that's what it looks like. That's how it works, like that. Okay, and then what we've also got as part of this case as well is some heat sinks. Because one of the things I might do is I might offer people the option of having a fan or a heat sink, because obviously not everyone wants a fan, particularly if you're running it in a room that your bedroom or your living room or something. You may not have a special closet. Of course, if you are irritated by the fan, if you've got a Fullnode already, you can just unplug it. It won't matter too much. It's not going to overheat or anything. It's just mostly there for display. So yep, we have some little heat sinks here that can go on the CPU. I won't put them on right now, or maybe it's easy. Let's just have a look. Looks like they're just adhesive. I've not built one of these ones before. So I'm just going to do what I do with the other one, where I fold it out the same order that it comes in on. And also, okay, so that looks a bit big to go on there. I don't know where they're all meant to go. I'm guessing that goes on there. And then that one goes there. Oh, I see, they're the same size, so they give you two of the same one. So let's just try that. Okay, so that's the little first heat sink. Goes there. And then the second heat sink. I haven't pushed down on it too hard, so I don't want to make it irreversible. And then the second heat sink goes on here. Okay, so yeah, so what I might do is just look to see how much these heat sinks are on their own, and then just if they're fairly affordable, I can just bundle them in, and then you've got a choice that way of whether you want a fan or a heat sink with your Fullnode. So there it is. And I will hold it up to the high-res camera, because I think at the moment you're only on low-res, aren't you? You haven't got a good view of that, but there it is. So I'm just going to put the screws in now. Okay, so now screw first one on like so. And then go at the opposite corner to keep the rest in place. There we go. Like that. And like I say, I haven't actually used this one yet. Be good to see what it's like. It's not, I don't think it's as pretty as the other case, so I might just look to see if I can get the heat sinks on their own, because I don't think this looks anywhere near as impressive as the other one. And there you go. Now we're going to get our Supernode ready. Take out the old memory stick, put in the 128 gigabyte one. Don't know if you can just about see that there. 128 gig. They all come with numbers as well. I number all the memory cards. And yeah, I left all the numbers on there as well when I sent them out to you guys. And now I need a case for this one, but I don't have a case, so I'm just going to have to leave it over here. All right, so got our new node, got our memory stick. This memory stick has a zip file of the whole blockchain on it, not the actual contents of it, because I've uploaded that to BitTorrent. What else do I need to plug in? I need to plug in the keyboard and the mouse as well. So let's think, yeah, that should be okay like that. And then we're going to come over to here. Okay. And then we're going to switch it on. And we're going to get a nice screw. Let me just adjust the lens. Okay, so that should be a less, that lens should be a little bit better. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I'm just starting up the Fullnode now. Has of course returned an error because it can't find the blockchain, and that's okay because we're not actually going to run Bitcoin on this machine. We're just going to be using this for duplicating the blockchain itself. So I'm going to put in Pi Raspberry as the username password, which is what comes to stand with the Pis. I'm just going to check that Bitcoin isn't running. I'm pretty sure it shouldn't be running. No, that isn't running. That's good. Also, let's go top as well. If you type in top into Linux, you should see all the processes running. So that all looks good to me. The next thing I guess to do is to, what did I need to do? So that's connected to the network. Oh yeah, I need to go. It's going to go into the GUI. So this is exactly the same as all the other Fullnodes. The only difference is it's got a much bigger internal drive, and that's because what I want to use this node for is duplicating copies of the blockchain so that I can like have, you know, obviously I've got my hipster machine that I'm recording this on, but the problem with the hipster machine is that apparently for some reason it's really slow at doing DD commands. It's even faster on the Pi. I actually timed it. So the more copies of the blockchain that I can make in parallel, obviously, the better. Now, I'm just actually going to do Raspberry config on here. Sudo. And I'm going to expand the file system so that we get all of that. Then the boot console text console require logging in. I'm just going to increase the amount of memory that the graphics card can have, just because I'm not going to be using it as a full node. I'm going to overclock it just up to high as well. Actually, what do I want? I want to go medium, actually, because I don't want to do that too much. Sometimes it frazzles the whole operating system. SSH will be enabled. And, oh, sorry, I'm not showing you the right camera. So SSH is enabled, and host name, I'm going to change the host name to Supernode. And let me just double check anything else that I need. Split those two. No, I think that's fine. So yeah, we're going to reboot. Okay, so whilst it's doing that, I'm just going to fire up the terminal window. I'm going to exit that. Oops. So I'm going to go SSH. Let me just bring that up for you. See what I'm doing. Pi at, oh, let me just get rid of this. Pi at supernode.local. So we change the host name. Okay. Right. Okay, so now we're in. And what I need to do is, well, the first thing actually that I'm going to do is I'm going to stop Bitcoin from loading up automatically. So I'm going to go sudo nano sudo, however you like to say it. Go etc rc.local, and then I'm going to just put a hash in front of that, comment that out, so it doesn't keep trying to start Bitcoin on restart, because I don't know how many times I'm going to be doing that here. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to edit the FS tab file. And I have a line here in my in a text file on my desktop, conveniently, because I happen to know the UUID of the memory stick with the zip file on it. So I'll do that. And I'm going to sudo reboot that. I'm going to wait for it to reboot. The mount point doesn't exist. Such a noob. Okay, we've got an error because I didn't create the folder. Okay, let me try logging into it again. So I'm going to make dir media 128 GB. I called it. Permission denied. That's because you've got to do. Okay, so we're running through. There it is in all its glory, little beast. This one is with heat sinks. Doesn't really feel very hot. It hasn't really been running for very long. Okay, let's take a look and see if that disk is mounting. Let's go media, 128 gig. No. Oh, yes, it's mounted. Ah, it's mounted, but it can't see anything on there. That's weird. Now, the other thing I'm going to try and do, in fact, actually, I'm just going to come in from the other computer because it's easier for me to type on this keyboard. Oops. Okay, so sudo. Oh. I'm going to install zip because I've zipped up the blockchain, so I will need to unzip it and probably zip it back up again, and I'm probably going to need this computer for general purposes. So just to give you an update, yes, we have lost a laptop in the Fullnode factory, and therefore I'm setting up a supernode, supercharged Bitcoin Fullnode that will allow us to copy the blockchain. I can plug in a USB hub into it and just mount all the drives and just keep them going. And okay, so there's that. And then what else do I want to install? I want to install gparted as well. That's a great program. So that's installing gparted, which helps you to manage partitions on hard drives on Linux. Okay. Let's just see if that's put this up here. Yes, it has. Okay, so here's gparted. I've just installed it. And it just gives you a nice graphical user interface if you want it, to be able to see what devices you've got. So we go to the SDA one. And so here you can see that there is some mount on media. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So I've now mounted it, and here you can see the zip file. I don't know how high resolution that is, but you should be able to see the zip file, which has got the Bitcoin data on it, which I uploaded to BitTorrent last night. I haven't published or publicly broadcast the hash for it. That's just because I want some friends to look at it first, make sure that the data is all good and they can start up their Bitcoin nodes. I've been able to start up my Bitcoin nodes from it. So that should all be good. And then what I'm going to do, so that was a successful little project there. What I'm going to do, I'm not going to stay online all day because I need the bandwidth for the torrenting that I'm doing, where I'm sharing some of these disk images out with other people that are helping with the project. So like right now, NZ is downloading the disk image of the internal drive. going to get him to look at the disk image. The reason I didn't upload it before Christmas is because I was in a super mad rush, because I was flying to Germany with my beautiful girlfriend, Janine Corinna, who's in the room but not on camera. And yeah, and I had to get a flight, and I wanted everyone to get their full nodes, and so I was in a rush. And the last day before we left, I was getting like really bad panic attacks. I was in a lot of pain. I did 16, well, I'm lying, really, it was more like 18 hours and 17 to 18 hours of work back to back, testing the full nodes, stress testing them, unplugging them, plugging them back in again, seeing if power outages hurt them. The one of the issues that's come up, actually, let me just address this right now for you. Let me see if I can just go to the other room, one sec. Okay, so you're not watching this, are you? Good, good. I need the bandwidth. So one of the issues has come up, which is some people asked for, rather than just getting a full node, they just said, can I get a memory stick, so that they can make it themselves? And that's fine in principle, and I'm going to put that perk up for the next round, and maybe next week when I put it up on to another crowdfund. But what you have to bear in mind is that when you're running a Raspberry Pi and you're pushing it to its limits, like we are with this full node, and you've got lots of peripherals plugged in, mouse, keyboard, monitor, Wi-Fi memory dongle, the Wi-Fi stick and a memory stick. Remember that you're pulling a lot of power out. And when you go into the GUI and you do start X, sometimes it comes up with a little rainbow symbol in the top right-hand corner of your desktop. That means that you're undervolting. That means that you are not undervolting, sorry, you're not, the Raspberry Pi hasn't got enough power to power all its peripherals. Now, the solution to this is to buy good quality cables, and I bought several different brands of USB cable, and I settled on this brand in the end because it was the best bang for buck. And they're 3 foot or 1 meter long micro USB cables. Of course, you can try your Nokia charger if you've got a phone or whatever, and you just want to plug it in. That should be okay. But here's the risk, okay, that what Fullnode needs is it needs girth, okay? It needs a nice, thick, chunky power cable, because if you get a cheap one, the power isn't going to be enough going into the Pi, and what that can sometimes mean is that the USB stick doesn't power up because it hasn't got enough power, right? Because it hasn't got enough current to go around for all the peripherals, your keyboard and everything. So you need to make sure that your power cable is good. The Pi is good enough to run this. I've been running a full node on a Pi now since the summer, on and off. That's kind of what inspired me to do this project, was having one running, and I knew I could see that it was working. But you do need a good quality cable, not so much the plug that goes in, and any one of those chargers will do, but it's really the quality of the cable that matters. So you do need to make sure you get it. If you do just buy the memory sticks off of me, there was a couple of people that came up to me at Chaos Communication Conference and asked for a copy of the blockchain, and that's cool, and I can give you a copy of the blockchain. But you will need, if you run it on a Pi, you will need a good quality cable. So that's the reason. Like there's a reason why I wasn't able to sell the full node for any cheaper. You know, I've sold it as cheaply as I can, because the cost of building the full node is also all the research and development, all the stuff that I had to buy just to test out, like the different cases. I bought different cases for the Raspberry Pi. I was looking for one that was stylish and looked good, that people would desire and want to buy, as at the same time as being practical. And you know, I also had to test out the different memory sticks as well, because some of the memory stick brands that I tried to go like really cheap brands or unbranded memory sticks, obviously, as you can imagine, they failed, or they were really, really slow. So the SanDisk one that I ended up stumbling upon was the best bang for buck. It was a good brand name. We weren't getting any bad sectors or anything like that, but it was also at the same time, it was good value for money. And so that's the reason. Also, another good thing about the SanDisk one is it's good form factor. It's a very small little thing, and it looks really sleek and stylish. So when you put the whole package together, it ends up, you know, looking like a really nice device. So that's the reason. You get what you pay for. I really wanted this project to be about individual empowerment, about giving every person the ability to run locally in their own, under their own domicility, under their own jurisdiction, their own full node. And remember, it's not just about the Bitcoin blockchain, it's what you can do with it. This is a toolkit, actually. It's a toolkit for inventors, it's a toolkit for journalists. If you want to publish stuff, you've got IPFS on there. You can also download Deluge as well, which I guess I can just show you now. I don't think I did it just then. Let me just show you Deluge quickly whilst I've got you here. So yeah, you can just do sudo, or actually we can just go up because we did it already. And you can just go, oops, Deluge. And this is a BitTorrent client for Linux. So it's just downloading all the packages that it needs. And then we're going to come over to the computer once that's done. Go into the command line here. It's still downloading. It's in Python. It's downloading all the Python packages. And what I might do is set up the super node with Deluge running, and then I can just serve up the IMG files of the actual install. So if you choose not to buy a full node off of me, of course that's absolutely fine. You are welcome to. Oops, wrong window. Okay, sorry, I loaded it up there, but I wasn't on the right camera. So just type in. So if we quit that. So that's Deluge there. Let's go up. So you just type in Deluge into the terminal. You might get an error here or there, but it loads up, it runs. Just go full screen. And there you have it. And there's your BitTorrent client. Now let's see. I don't know if I can add. I can't add that torrent because I don't have the torrent file on this computer, but I will be able to do that in another episode just to show you the actual torrenting of the blockchain. Now, at the moment, you can already, the developers at Bitcoin Core, and I think Jeff Garzik in particular is responsible for the distribution of the blockchain over BitTorrent. That has now been somewhat reduced to a legacy feature because now we have headers first when we download the blockchain natively using Bitcoin QT or Bitcoin D. The headers first protocol that was implemented by Peter, I think it was Peter's pull request went in. Headers first means it's a much faster process now. So now you can just download the blockchain and it's super quick on most computers. However, that's not true for the Raspberry Pi and smaller units like these. The reason is because when you download the blockchain the first time, your computer has to go through the IO intensive task, the CPU intensive task of verifying every block and the validity of every block, making sure that every block hash is legitimate and that the hashes make the overall Merkle tree. And as a result, because these types of processors, these ARM processors, are not very good at SHA, the secure hashing algorithm that Bitcoin uses, it takes a long time, like a month to download the blockchain. Not a month to download it in terms of data bandwidth, but in terms of just CPU crunching all the numbers. Therefore, it would be more appropriate for this full node project for people running smaller devices like these to have a torrent file like they had in the old days where they could download a zip. I've chosen zip because obviously we're going to be reaching out into areas like India and Southern African continent, who people there do not have great internet access. And so the zip file will compress it from 55 gigabytes down to about 45 gigabytes. And that's significant. So I'm doing it as a zip file. If any developers or engineers, obviously I'm just a noob. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm learning as I go. If any of you are experts and you think that maybe there's a security risk in what I'm doing by dishing out the blockchain this way, please get in touch. I want to hear about it because I don't want to be setting bad precedent. It's just that I'm just trying to do the best I can with the tools that I have right now, and that's the best I think that we can do at the moment. So that's the solution I'm coming up with. So yes, on the way you can expect more videos like this one. Hopefully I should get the chance now. I've got all the boxes here and on the memory sticks. I should get the chance to go on air on another marathon session, but that might be either this weekend or early next week. I also need to get the crowdfund page up. I'm aware of that. I just need to make sure that this bug with the crashing is resolved and that we know that MZ script is going to work out in the wild. And then I will produce the new nodes. If you are in a rush for yours and I owe you one and you're watching this, you can pester me and you can say, hey Chris, don't worry about the update, just send me the node as is and I will make it to order, no problem at all. But in the meantime, I've been Chris Ellis. This has been the World Crypto Network. It is Friday, the 8th of January, 2016, and I'm going to sign off now and get back to work. So see you later. Bye-bye.